Get my sound up. We're back with another episode. First, the sponsors. Head over to www.johnbartoloshow.com. Go check out a complete list of the sponsors there. I'm going to say a few of them now. I want to give special thanks to Legion Targets, Inforce, Right On, Volkortsen, CMMG, and 221B Tactical. The reason I'm shouting them out at the beginning of the show is they were huge supporters at the recent event. I want to shout out a few of the show regular sponsors, of course, brought to you by 6 Hour, and special thanks to Gallo-Tech and Rhino Metals. And, of course, Inforce Weapon Lights again. Show wouldn't be possible without all those brands. Special thanks to all of them. I'm excited today. We got a special guest. Really a fun one. I want to get some feedback on the event we just did, but I'm excited to chat with her while she has a little downtime. We got the one and only Tatiana Suarez. How are you?
I'm doing well.
You're hanging in there, right?
Yes.
It's another day in the office.
Another day.
So what's going on?
Nothing.
Same shit, different pile, right? Same shit, different pile. It never stops, right? You know, it's nonstop for you guys. I don't know how you do it. I got a glimpse of that, but you guys were fortunate to come out for our range day, which was a lot of fun, and participate with some of the brands and hang out and get to see that. How wild was that?
I loved it personally. I hadn't shot in a while just because obviously I'm injured.
Busy,
but, yeah, and I'm busy too. But yeah, so it was really great. And then also, you know, we had people there instructing us.
Super cool.
Real gun enthusiasts helping us.
Yeah, I know. It's always fun when you get to get out there with
Snipers.
SMEs and so, you know, anybody. It's just fun to get out there and mix it up and do something that has nothing to do with fighting. What was your favorite bay to work in? I mean, they were all pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to say the Target one.
Yeah.
For time.
Volkortsen, the 22 one, right?
Right, yeah.
Such a good time. What a competition that was. That got heated for a hot minute. I
feel like I could totally be there for like a few hours. Just doing it by myself.
We're going to definitely make it more competitive next time. That was something we openly discussed. But, you know, I would say the Volkortsen booth was a lot of fun. And then, you know, of course, having Tony there, Real World Tactical was a blast. And having him in the Inforce booth and getting the opportunity to kind of hang out with him for a little bit. And I wanted to keep it casual for you guys because I think for you guys, it's about just kind of chilling, taking a few shots, relaxing, and not making it like invasive or trying to like teach too much, you know, just a little bit. Hey, get out of the gym, have a day that's clears your head. And I think that's always a good thing. You know, I had a lot of fun seeing you guys have a lot of fun and get to shoot some ammo downrange because ammo isn't cheap, of course, right now, right? Like, it's pretty crazy how expensive
it's super expensive, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. What, you know, is shooting something you do regularly or no?
I was doing it regularly, and then I just got so busy because I was like trying to come back, you know? So then I stopped doing it, but I was going to the range pretty often. And but I have like a 9, which isn't as fun as that little 22.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's a good time.
Yeah.
And it's less expensive. Let's put it that way to shoot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
it all gets pricey. Now you started out wrestling.
Yeah,
that's where it started.
Yeah, I was 3 years old.
Did your family think you were nuts when you were like, I want to be a fighter?
No, I was kind of a crazy kid. Yeah. So, I mean, if I didn't start fighting, they'd be like, that's
why
a
not?
Little weird.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do that? Because you're just made for it.
I know. It's a while, you know, as a female wrestler, you guys are all kind of pioneers because wrestling's becoming so prolific and so big in the UFC. It's kind of crazy how it's caught on, and now wrestling becomes like the go-to thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great background to have because you can have a longer career if you're really successful at taking people down. And, you know, especially if you evolve into, you know, someone who can do submissions as well. Like if you're a good wrestler, but then you don't know how to...
You get that hint of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, you need to be able to you need to be able to submit people.
You got to finish.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I mean, there's times where like I'll just really control people the entire time instead of submit, and then just do some good ground and pound, which I love.
Does it surprise you how wrestling's caught on, or no?
Does it surprise me what?
That wrestling's caught on the way it has, or no?
No,
around the UFC.
I don't think so. I think when you look at people's career and you see the people that you know have a lot of wars, you start to see their chin go away, right? After a certain amount of fights, you'll be like, oh man, this guy was once durable. And then all of a sudden you see them getting knocked out more often, right? And then you're like, well, why is that? Well, I mean, that person's been in wars fight after fight, you know? So I think after a while, your brain can't take that anymore.
Are you born with a chin or do you develop a chin?
Unless you're Nick and Nate Diaz.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Are you born with a chin or do you develop a chin? How does that work?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Because, like, if you look at Nick and Nate Diaz, I think with them, they're just so, like, calm and they don't brace for things. Like, there's
no amount of pressure is too much.
They go with I forgot what it's called when you go with the punch, but I know
they faint.
No, when you go with the punch, like, you get hit this way and you go with it, so it takes off a little bit of the sting, as opposed to if you're so locked on and then you hit it, it messes you up a little.
They're
bit
such
more.
a unique animal too, because their style is so different. I feel,
they're so loose, they're relaxed, and I think, like, when you brace for things, that's when you get hurt. So I think because they're so loose and relaxed, they don't get hurt as often.
Yeah. Does it surprise you how the female divisions are so kind of locked up at the top and so tight? Does that surprise you at all looking at it? Or are you like, you could see the skill, whether it's Valentina or Amanda, what they bring to the table? Is that not surprising to you? Because you're around them, you see them in the PI. Does that ever surprise you how they have the top just on lock?
Not at the time, just because if you look at, women's MMA, it's so new, and MMA in general, right? And, there's less women that do it than men. So if you really look at it, if you look at everybody at the top, most of those women are people who've been doing any type of martial art for a while, right? If you look at Rose Namajunas, she's been doing it for a long time, right? Valentina, she said that she's been doing martial arts for 28 years. So if you really look at it, it's not really much of a surprise, because most people are only doing some type of martial art, or some of them don't even come from anything. Like the girl who just fought Valentina recently, Lauren Murphy, she didn't do any type of martial arts until she got into the gym, and then I guess she took her son there or something, and now all of a sudden she's fighting for her title. And that speaks volumes in terms of somebody who walked into an MMA gym and started doing MMA, and a woman who has been doing martial arts for 28 years.
It's
right?
crazy, right?
So it just shows, like, the top women have been just doing it longer.
So long. It's second generation even in most of their cases. It's kind of crazy. As that starts to come in, I think that's gonna be a huge difference maker. But I love the women's divisions. I think they're so talented, and I think seeing women combatants go at it the way that they do, you could see the passion, and they all want to be the best, and they're just some of the most driven. I feel like the women I see more of a drive. Like they want to be the best, and it's hard. It's a very humbling game, and we saw that even with Valentina and Lauren Murphy's fight just recently. That was a little wild, but she hung in there for a lot longer than I think we all even thought. And tough woman. I mean, just to get in there and fight the way she fought. I mean, I love seeing that, and I think there's a lot of energy in the women's division, a lot of good energy, and I love seeing it. We got to see Cynthia Calvillo go. We got to see, Jessica Andrade. It was just a really cool card recently, and I think seeing a lot of those women is exciting and fun, and it's got to be fun for you because you call a lot of them friends too. Yeah,
absolutely. And then eventually there'll probably be I'll be fighting some of them.
Some of them. You'll see some of them on the other side.
Yeah.
Does that ever make you feel weird? I was asking Valentina that about like fighting her sister. She never would. She would never fight her sister. But like that's kind of, I imagine like if you're friends with someone, it's got to be hard, right? To drum up the energy, or are you just like, fuck it?
Well, I don't see it like that. I think business is business, and then, you have your personal life, right? And so for me, it's like, I don't really, it doesn't bother me. Like if I see them, I'm cool with everybody, You're
just like, we're going to do this.
Yeah. And then when it's time, I'm like, okay, we're going to fight. But I also don't have a sister in the UFC. So,
that would be weird. Would you ever fight a sister? Like, no, right? I mean, I would think no. I mean, maybe. I don't know. It depends on the relationship, right?
I mean, I have a good relationship with my sister, and I can't imagine like fighting her. So I'm probably with Valentina on that one.
Yeah, I would think that'd be a hard one. That would be hard. If it was
a
cousin, you
like,
hate
what if Antonina all of a sudden just had like a winning streak, and then what is she gonna say? No. What is she gonna do? What is she gonna do? Is she gonna say like, okay, sister, take over the reins? I guess. It's
a tough one coming up. It's her and what's it called, Casey.
Oh yeah, Casey O'Neill, right?
Yeah. It's interesting one. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
that'll be fun. That's this weekend. Excited.
Yeah, I'm actually going to this one.
Are you going?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. Mm-hmm. That's gonna be a great card. I think for the most part the women's division definitely has the most excitement, and it was excited to see all you guys out there. It was like, JoJo Calderwood was like genuinely interested in like learning she was like, how do I learn more? After.
At first, she was like, after the rules meeting, she was like, I think I'm going to go home.
I think the big thing when, it's hard. We struggled with that, like with having the safety brief, but you have to, we set it up in a way that it was like, we didn't want anybody to like just run around brand new. I think next time we do it, we're going to sort a couple things out. But I think by and large, you want to get people shooting right away, but at the same time, having shot a gun, you have to have a rules meeting.
Yeah, absolutely.
You just have to lay it out like, guys, we can't be running around waving guns. So.
Yeah, I think she was just scared because he was like, God forbid you kill anybody. She was like.
No, Tony does a great job when he did the brief and, after kind of being like.
Absolutely. It was just funny because she probably didn't realize like he has to say those things because you
have to. It's like a disclaimer.
Exactly.
Like if I get in the ring with you have to be like, listen, you could get fucked up here. Like we're gonna be on the level. Like there could be some dental work at the end of this. Like be ready. You know what I mean? It's one of those deals. So you kind of always whenever you're around people that are really good at their craft, you have to kind of say like, hey, listen. This could go bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't throw like a little kid in the ring with you.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, like some of the people there never shot a gun, so it's just like you need to remember that it's a deadly weapon, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just like
I think more stuff like that's good for you guys, and I think we all enjoy exposing you guys to that world a little bit more, and I think it's just good. I mean, we are going to do it again very shortly. It's going to happen again.
Really? When?
Soon. I can't give the date out here. It's like it's just top secret,
It's top secret.
It's top secret. Yeah, we're trying to do it in a way that was respectful to you guys.
Yeah.
Because because my big thing as a liaison to a lot of you, when I talk to the brands, I try to tell them, listen, you can't be invasive with these folks. Like, just let them enjoy themselves. Let them have a good time. Let them, shoot. Like Tony said in the beginning, we're going to make you all look good.
Yeah.
And not make it like make it fun. Keep it loose, but at the same time, not like you can walk around, you can eat when you want, you can, stuff like that. Those things matter because you guys want downtime and you want to have fun and you want to enjoy yourself. At the same time, there's always a media component to everything.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But you try to keep it like where the brands are sharing in that, and it makes sense for you guys because I know people that would absolutely butcher it, and treat you guys like pieces of meat, and you can't have that.
No, I feel like it was a good time. Yeah. I liked it. I enjoyed it. And it did feel like that. It felt like really lax and just kind of like...
Just a chill day.
Yeah.
Get away from the office a little bit. Get off the mats and...
Learn some stuff about guns.
Something, right?
Do some cool...
And leave with some cool shit.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't like that?
Who doesn't like
free stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that matters. Now, you've had some downtime. You've been able to kind of recoup. Have you done anything fun?
No.
Anything for you? You need to.
So actually, so the funny part about it is that range day was actually the first thing that I've done since I was injured because I had just started to walk maybe a week prior to that event. So I was off my leg for 8 weeks. And so I hadn't, and then like right before that, I was training for my fight, which I was supposed to fight September 25th against Roxanne Modafferi. Obviously that didn't happen. And then, so range day was pretty,
was was a nice break.
It was a nice break. Yeah, I was like, I needed this 100%. I needed it.
Yeah, once you get outside, it's hard with COVID, right? Like now, like if you get that opportunity to get outside and it's like you can enjoy yourself, you got to take it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. That's why you got to do stuff for yourself, especially when you have that downtime. You just got to make it about you and be selfish and do things you want to do. And I think now is a great time. You know, I look at so many successful people on the show and I meet with so many that, you know, I see a common thread, like you got to be a little selfish. You have to do for you and you have to do stuff that's going to make you happy. And that's important. And that's how you get your fire lit again. At least I think. What do you do for you to kind of keep the fire burning?
I train.
You know, there's something to that. Do you make the training fun though?
Well,
or do you like it like, do you like catching a beating?
I find training fun. I'm usually doing the beating. So
there you go.
Everything.
I like that answer.
I think it's fun. That's why, you know, I think like I have the best job ever. And this, you know, obviously with MMA, it's a sport. It's like it's a time limit on it, right? Because you can't do it forever. So I'm just trying to
tell Roxy
enjoy
that,
it.
you know.
I know, really. I mean, that's crazy, right? And she does so well too. Like she made that girl that she fought this weekend is a tough girl.
Yeah.
And she made her work for every damn dollar.
Crazy.
Like she was like, I'm gonna make you work, and that girl was tired by the end. I thought.
Yeah,
it looked like it to me.
You can make it a long career. You really can. You can make it a long career if you plan it out and you map it out and you have good people around you. You can have a long career in mixed martial arts, especially you know, if you're careful and you're choosy and you train properly and you work with the right people. You can build out such a great niche for yourself. And Vegas is like, you know, it has to be great being here because you're in the middle of it all.
Yeah. That's another reason why I felt like it was a good idea to come here, just because, you know, I'm around all the fighters. I'm
around
the vibe. You know what I mean? Like, it's still, it makes me feel a part of it still. Like,
when you're down, people pick you up. They're like, hey, let's go. Let's train. Let's do this. Just being in that atmosphere of like alphas and everything and just being like, hey, let's go train. You know, you can always grab a friend. You got a million of them and you just be like, hey, I want to go do this. Let's spar a little. Let's do it. It gets you fired up because you're around some of the best. And
well, I can spar, but I mean,
that'll come back.
Yeah, eventually I could spar, but I can watch the sparring if I really want to. You know, actually, Eric, what's his last name? Nick Sick.
At Extreme?
Yeah, from Extreme. Yeah, he told me, yeah, you know, come back. Come over here, like hang out with us, watch a practice, you know.
Yeah, Eric and Eddie get a good thing going over there. It's a lot of fun seeing those guys, and they're great with mitts.
Yeah, I mean, they're just really good guys. I feel like.
Yeah, Extreme's
really cool.
Extreme's one of those gyms that you go in and you feel like you're in Rocky, like downstairs in the dungeon. You know, like training.
So I haven't actually been there just yet. So I look forward.
It's across the street. You got to go over
right now.
Yeah, it's like no, not this instant, but like you got to go over there right now. Let's go.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Let's train.
Let's take the cameras over there.
Seriously, that's actually not a bad idea. We did do an episode in there once. We have done an episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have.
Cool.
Yeah, normally I'll go over there like on a Saturday and maybe do a gi and then no gi class. So sometimes I'll pop into that, but I don't do any striking because I value what's left of my teeth and I value what's left of my brain cells.
You can always do the technique.
You know, yeah, I'm way past technique. I'm horrible.
What do you mean?
I'm horrible. I can't do anything right.
What happens if you get in a street fight?
I'll be just fine. Take a look around in the studio. I'll be just fine. I'll figure it out.
Take a look.
Let's take a look around. I'll figure it out. Trust me. If I go on my back, something went really wrong. I think something went very bad. I don't see myself pulling guard anytime soon.
No.
So
okay.
yeah, no.
You're not gonna get him in an armbar.
No, I don't. Did you see all those submissions Brian hit on? Oh my God, how did he get out of those?
I'm still trying to figure that out. Like I
already watched it twice.
Oh, you did?
Fuck.
So I watched it live, and so I thought it was so crazy how fast Brian just jumped into a guillotine. Like
I thought that was a gamble out of all of them.
He just does that every single day. Like, let me just hop into a guillotine. That was so crazy. And the fact that he got it that deep and he hopped into it, I was just like really impressed by
the triangle was the craziest.
Well, because he's so known for his triangles.
Right, but how he got out? How the hell?
I don't know. I think it's a combination of sweat and the bald head.
Ooh.
And Laura Sanko had just posted something prior to that, and she was like, "Oh, your shaved head," and she's like, "What? Did you do it because you want it to be slippery, just in case there's any guillotines or something like that?" And Volkanovski was like, "Well, I don't get in guillotines that often, but if I do, it's not gonna hurt." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy."
That's great. Like, that's breaking news.
You should check it out. It's on Instagram.
You heard it here first. Go see Laura Sanko's clip on the. Well, yeah, you heard it here. This is fucking wow. I never thought of it that way, but I guess you're right.
Yeah.
I guess you're right.
Well, even with any submission, if you really think about it, like the slippery you get, the more the longer the fight goes on, the harder it's going to be to do any type of submission. And
anybody listen, if you haven't checked out the fight, go check out the Brian Ortega Volkanovski fight. It was freaking
wild.
From the second round on. Yeah. It was crazy.
Yeah, the first round was it was good, definitely very technical, but it just got more and more violent as the fight.
I think Brian was out. I think he was out when he was but I'm so happy Herb kept it going.
Well, I mean, for us.
Yeah, selfishly. But I mean, it's a title fight, right? And I think if you're in a title fight,
but he didn't win regardless, so it's just like a lot more damage if you think about it. Because if you take a look at his fight with Max, he absorbed 290 strikes, significant strikes. His fight with Volkanovski, he absorbed 219.
You know your shit.
So significant, yeah. So I mean, if you think about it, that's that's a lot. That's a lot.
That's a lifetime. Yeah, no. But I think this is what I think, Tatiana. You could tell me if I'm wrong. I think in a title fight, because it's so hard, like, you have to be very strategic getting to the top. And I think it's hard to get there and stay there. Like, there's not a lot of people that get multiple title shots.
Right.
So I think when you get there, I think what Brian did do by going into the 4th and 5th round, which is what you're alluding to.
Yeah.
I think what he did do is he solidified that they could run it back. I think that's on the table for him. I think if it got stopped, the likelihood of it being I think there's not a person that's leaving that didn't say that needs to happen again.
Well, yeah, everybody wants to see it again, but
what would you do?
Will the UFC make that again? Considering that division, there's a lot of there's a lot of fighters there. We could see a trilogy between Max and Volkanovski. We could see maybe Yair, right? Isn't that who Max is fighting next? Mm-hmm. Is Yair? I mean, if Yair does well and he wins his fight against Max, which to be honest, I don't see that happening. I just think that I think Max is going to win. Yeah. But I mean, I think that's another matchup to make, just because the last fight, arguably, we thought that Max won the fight.
Very close.
I don't know if
No, very close.
It was a very close fight.
Yeah, I think when you're looking at your career from a position that Brian's in, I think you have to look at it like that leaves the door open to potentially, even if he clipped down the rankings a little, it leaves the door open to an exciting rematch, whether it's 6 months from now, whether it's a year from now, whether it's 18 months from now. Even if the division kind of thins out or whatever happens, I think it opens the door to that possibility, and that's what's exciting. So I think you're right. You can't take that kind of damage into rounds 3, 4, and 5. It's very dangerous in your career. But I think given where he's at, it's kind of now or never, right?
Well, I think he's pretty. I mean, is he 28?
Yeah. So there's like a 3. But think about it in the terms of fight scheduling, where he's at. It's a 3, maybe 4 year window.
Well, what I think is if he takes some time, starts getting, because so I know Brian's team really well, and up until recently, maybe a couple years after his loss to Max, he got a whole new team. He got a whole new team.
He kept Henner. That was it.
Yeah, except for, of course, Henner. And he got a whole new team, and he started to kick more. He started to do actual wrestling. He started, you know what I mean? Obviously, the jiu-jitsu, he's always done it. But, I mean, if you have jiu-jitsu without wrestling, you know, you just never, it's not as good, right?
Yeah.
And then if you look at his fights prior, he wasn't kicking, you know, as much. So now and then obviously his dietitian and the guy that does like everything for him in terms of he is also the guy that does my stuff. So he hired him, and before he didn't eat well. So I mean, if you think about it, he was like a high level athlete, but he wasn't living a lifestyle like an athlete.
Yeah.
So up until like after his fight with Max, he didn't start living his life like an athlete. So if you kind of think about it, he's young in terms of being an athlete because he hasn't been living a lifestyle. Like
I
think
agree with
within the next few years, I do see. I wouldn't count him out, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think given how stacked the divisions are, when I start to hear 28, 29, 30 years old, I start to think, okay, you know, maybe it's a 4-year window, right? But how many fights happen in 4 years? If you're at that level where you're a 2, 3, 4 contender, maybe you get 3 fights. That's probably a lot in that window because you're going to take some time. You're probably going to lose one because you're at the top of the table now.
Yeah.
So it's about now it's about the politics and the strategy.
Or you could be like Jessica Andrade and be at the top and beat everybody at the top, but then can't
get over the hump.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, she did win her title, and then she lost to Weili.
Yeah.
And then she fought Rose again, and then Rose beat her because she was going to try to get her another title shot, right?
And we get a Rose rematch.
She wanted to run it back, but then she didn't get the title shot because she lost to Rose, and then Rose went and knocked out Weili. So, yeah, and we have a title shot.
We have it coming back. Yeah.
Yeah, which is exciting.
Yeah. Who do you get in that one? I'm curious who you pick.
You know,
it's a hard one, right?
Yeah, you know, it is hard just because they're both so great. But I just think that her counter striking is just so good, and her footwork is really good.
Yeah. She's strong little thing too. Like she's strong. You know, she can physically move someone. She's tough. You know, Rose is an interesting one, and that Weili fight will be really interesting. But I think that division is really one that has so many different people vying for it, simply because of the tie up with Amanda and Valentina, that division has just so many people like almost running to it to like get into it. And you know, it'll be interesting how it all plays out, but I think that division still offers a lot of cool stuff. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out, how Jessica fits into that, how it all eventually plays out.
Yeah, I think she said she wanted to go back down and fight. And I'm like, I'm not understanding that really. I think that's it didn't make sense to me, just because you just fought at a different weight class.
Yeah.
And then you go and you call out the 115 division champion or whatever, but you're not fighting at that weight class. And there's so many girls at strawweight that are at the top, like right now, that deserve that title shot before her.
Right.
I think so. I
think she's running to
it. Like Carla Esparza. Like, I'm not saying Carla Esparza is going to win, but what I'm saying is that she deserves it before Jessica Andrade, because she's fought. She's like on a 5-fight winning streak or something like that against all the top girls at the 115 division, except for me. And
give the Cookie Monster her respect.
And so, So I think she deserves it before.
It's a lot of fun.
Jessica.
Watching the women's a lot of fun, and seeing you ladies tear it up is really like one of the exciting parts of the card. Do you think we'll get another? Hopefully, we'll get another big headlining women's fight coming up soon. I'm hoping. I mean, Valentina was great to watch as a co-main, but we'll see how it plays out. I believe Weili's fight's a co, right? That one's going to be a co, right? Isn't it? Weili and
I have no idea who the main event
how they're
is.
doing that. Yeah,
I know it's
because Aljamain stepped out just recently too.
Yeah, so they have Cory Sandhagen and Jan, which I'm super excited because I'm a huge fan of Sandhagen. I think
Cory's
he's
a hell of a
great.
fighter.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. They have him on replay at the PI, and I watch like all his videos and stuff. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think
he's so technical. It's amazing.
I think that'll be really cool. I want to say that was almost the same card, or it was close to it. I don't know, but I'll have to look.
Yeah.
But you go to the fights a bit.
I do. I watch all the fights, even if they're like prelims. Like I like to watch every single fight on the card.
What about commentary? You ever think about doing commentary? You're pretty good.
You think I'm good?
Yeah, you know your stuff. You just threw some stats at us. You were like, this many strikes.
Yeah, I think when I don't know. I'm usually not that great. I don't know why I'm better.
Could be Megan's replacement. You know, I mean.
Wait, what is she doing?
If she goes to NFL full time, you know.
Oh, she's gonna do that.
I don't know. It could be in the card. She loves doing NFL. I know that, but who knows? Maybe you heard it here first.
I think I'm better on the fly when we just like shooting it. Yeah, I feel like when you have something like when you have a story to tell, and it's not your story. I'm like
pimping someone else's hotness.
Yeah, because they go, well, an example. They'll be like, Jalen Turner's really started to do. He went through a lot of surgeries and stuff like that, and then
it's
now
a really exciting fighter to watch.
But now he's back, and then like they do like this whole scripted thing. I don't think I would be good at that. Yeah,
you got to do the Brendan Moreno just did it with the Spanish telecast. But do you speak Spanish? Can you do it in Spanish? You could.
I don't speak Spanish.
No. Yeah, there you go.
Hola.
So you're out. Hola. Yeah, you're out. You can't do that. But you could learn it. Valentina knew like 45 languages at the end of that fight. Did you see that? She said like thank you in 10 different languages.
No way.
I had people text me, they're like, she knows Chinese. Like she's speaking Mandarin. I was like, what?
Really?
I swear to God.
I'm so done.
Isn't that crazy?
That's great. She's like, what? I know. No, I'm going to slaughter everything. Don't.
Say it.
I know nothing.
What?
Let's see. I think spasiba is Russian for thank you. I think. Don't quote me.
Don't quote me. Selling in the corner to get the big money. Daryl, what the hell are you asking? I'm trying to read your question. Daryl asked, you and other women in the UFC think about selling your personality like Connor to get the big money? Yeah, that's a good question. I know what you're getting at, Daryl, is creating like a character. Have you considered that, like doing the go in the Colby Covington route? Has anyone like ever approached you like, Tatiana, I'll tell you how to do this?
I'm not ever gonna do that.
Yeah, like having a gimmick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think people appreciate organic fighters too. I feel like you don't always have to be a personality, but yeah, I understand the whole you make more money, you get more followers because either they like you or they just really want to see you get knocked the hell
both.
out.
It's always both.
Like with Colby, I'm not sure if half of his followers follow him because they like him or because they want him to get knocked out.
Well, the funny thing with Colby is if you know the real him, he's not.
I heard he's so nice.
I've had him on the show. He's a good guy. We've gone back and forth. We've gone to the range together. He's a solid creature. He's a solid creature. It's just, there is something to be said about the gimmick, right? Like creating the gimmick. Yeah. And I know a lot of you get approached or agents or managers try to say like, hey, you should do this. Like you should light Rose on fire or something. I don't know. But I feel like
DC tried to get me to talk some smack after my last fight, and then I tried to do it, and it just came out so terribly. I was like,
"You're like fuck everybody." Kind of.
I really just messed this up. Like this is the cringiest thing I've ever said. I was like, "Nope, next time I'm just gonna be me."
I'm gonna have to go pull that up. That's funny.
Please don't.
I'm gonna have to pull that up. I mean, there is something to be said about it, and I think in the women's division we haven't seen gimmicks come in as much. I think Cyborg.
I think the closest one we had was probably, I would say,
Cyborg, right?
You think she's a gimmick? I don't think so.
I think a little bit of what she does is a gimmick, and I think especially towards the end it became a little gimmicky.
I think the closest person we've ever had in the UFC was obviously Ronda Rousey, and then I would say Joanna. Like I feel like those are the only two who act a certain way because they want people to follow them. And I think with Ronda Rousey, it worked really well because she was one of the first ones to come on the scene, right? Mm-hmm. And she really let her weight.
She was the first one. The way I classify Ronda, and I'll get your take on it, because you're a student of this, I can tell by the shit you're spitting. Ronda, to me, was the first person in women's MMA to have a legit hardcore skill set. And she had some unstoppable moves.
Yeah.
That just, there was a time like Tyson
Yeah.
where there was like an 18-month, 3-year window where she was unbeatable. She was just unbeatable. She was hitting those arm bars from all over the mat.
Yeah.
And you couldn't last with her, but she came into it with a very serious skill set that the women's division hadn't seen yet, in my opinion. I know that, Gina is a friend, Gina and certain people have come along, and even Kat Zingano, who I consider a friend, Kat, had a couple of good fights. Kat couldn't get past, Ronda. But I think Ronda was the first to like have an insane judo skill set and be able to do that at her will. And that to me was the beginning of the first woman that's like, I got this shit. Like that was the first time.
Absolutely. It's kind of going back to what I said earlier about when you were talking about, are you surprised at the top where they're just so dominant in their division, and then the rest of the division. And that's kind of how I felt about Ronda. There was nobody at the time, especially because women's MMA was so new, and all the girls at that time were just like, they were not lifelong martial artists.
Right.
They were all women who had just been doing it maybe 5 years. And then you have this skilled judoka who's been doing judo since she was 5 years old. And I mean, there's just no comparison at that point, like it's somebody who's been doing maybe MMA for 5 years and a person who's been doing judo for I don't know how long. Then she went against Holly Holm, who's been doing boxing for a while and ended up getting beat. And then then she started to meet people that actually were martial artists that had been doing it for a while, and then that's when she's that's when she lost. She got dethroned. She
was like one of the first people that I think found subject matter experts in judo in that field. She's working with Gene. She was working with a lot of people that she just developed a skill set that was just one slice above where everybody was at. And that's what I saw.
She was an Olympian.
Yeah. And eventually what happened was...
Wait, is she bronze medalist or silver medalist?
She might have been silver or gold.
Yeah. No, not gold. She's not.
Bronze in the Olympics.
Because the first one was Kayla Harrison.
Yeah. Kayla, I was going to bring that up. I'm glad you did. Kayla and I've gone back and forth with Kayla. I'm trying to get her in here, but obviously she's in a different
state.
Well, that, and she spent a lot of time in my home state, but she's in a different promotion. But Kayla, to me, is the only entertaining fight left, maybe for Amanda, maybe, and that would be a very interesting one because I think Kayla does have a lot of the skills. What do you think?
I personally think that Amanda will wreck her.
You think so?
Yeah.
You do? I would think that would be an interesting one.
I just think that on the ground, Amanda is no slouch.
Right.
She's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. She's really strong. She hits hard like a man. And so I've heard people tell me that she knocks people out.
Yeah.
And I'm going, okay, I believe that, men.
Oh yeah.
So
100% terrifying.
Yeah.
100% terrifying is the only way to say it.
Yeah, and that's kind of that's why I just feel like Amanda's just been in the game much longer than Kayla in terms of martial arts. Martial arts is just, it's a little, I know Kayla Harrison is a gold medalist in judo.
She's a true judoka.
Yeah, but I just don't see that. But you never know. But I do want to see it. I'm not saying I don't want to see it. I wish that she would get signed by the UFC and then we could see that happen.
I know.
That would be the money fight right there.
I know. Kayla Harrison, if you're out there, sign with the UFC. It would be interesting. It would be interesting.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, look, aside from that, you get some, you're going to be coming out of this. You're going to start training again. A lot of stuff's going to start happening. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fast and furious. Do you have your eye on anyone as you come out of this? Or, I mean, where's your head at?
I'm not really at this point. I'm like, I'll take anybody.
Yeah. No, you don't ever think like that, but I get what you're saying.
No, really. I mean, if you think about it, I've had a long layoff. I mean, I'll fight anybody at the division. And, if I have to work my way up, that's fine too. I don't mind making money on the way up.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I'm not, And I've been out for a while, so it doesn't really matter. I just want to fight. That's all that matters to me.
In many ways, though, being out during this time in some ways isn't a bad thing. We've been dealing with the COVID thing and everything else. It's kind of created like crazy camps, weird shit happening.
Yeah.
So,
well, my fight was going to be at this last fight, and that was the energy was crazy.
Yeah, we're coming out of it, but
yeah.
This was the first fight, honestly, that the energy was nuts.
Yeah, it was nuts. I was there live, and I just couldn't. Were you there?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is.
No, were you there at the?
Yeah.
Oh, you went.
But what I'm saying is, this was the first one that I felt the energy you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
So, the energy at this fight is the first fight that I feel like the UFC was back. Now, I know there was the Conor fight and there was other things, but I feel like this one, with the display Brian put on, I felt like the energy of the crowd got crazier and crazier as it went on, because it was that kind of fight. Because don't forget, the last couple in T-Mobile that at least I saw, because I was at the Conor fight too.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, is the energy. I was actually there with Suresh. We went to the fight, but the energy I saw there, because it ended the way it ended, it was like a little air out of the balloon.
Right.
This one, I mean, people were like, holy shit, like what did we just watch? Like people left dizzy.
Yeah.
I tapped.
Well, I felt like a lot of it wasn't just like the Brian Ortega fight. It was all the fights.
Yeah.
For me.
I mean,
it was just like almost the whole card was so good.
Like I felt it build.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I think it started my buddy was on the card actually, Jalen. So I got really hyped for that.
Oh yeah, isn't that the best though?
Yeah.
When you have like somebody you know.
Yeah.
Like I went a couple weeks back, and I went to go see Juliana Rosa fight.
Oh, okay.
And Julian trains at my gym, and my guys were all cornering him, the guys I train with. So, like, I felt like we won the Super Bowl after. And that's like I say, I swear to God, I'm in there, I'm like, I'm like running in the back. I'm doing the interview after.
Yeah.
I'm like pumped up, you know? I'm like so pumped up. But it's cool to see guys and gals like that, and people you know or people you interact with and you call friends, and even if they are on a lesser part of the card, you just get so amped.
It doesn't even matter.
Yeah,
you could be like the first card, or first fight on the card.
Prelim. The blackout fight.
Absolutely, yeah. I was super amped, and then you had Marab fight, and that was insane.
He's a stud.
He is. I couldn't even believe what I was watching. I was like, no. And he was like running around the cage. I was like, yeah, run
for your life. He's a stud. I mean, how can you bet against him ever?
I know. How can you root against him?
You can't. Yeah. You can't. He's proven it every week. And and he's a guy that's just becoming insanely dangerous.
I know. I mean, it started off like, he was really good wrestling. And then, I mean, he's always been really good. And then I feel like he got more and more dangerous with his ground and pound. I feel like every time I see him, his ground and pound gets more and more deadly.
And he always finds himself on top. Like
he takes everybody down.
Yeah, he always finds, like, he's never in I feel like I've never seen him in a bad spot. It's like a Khabib thing. Like, I've never seen him in a bad spot.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. But yeah.
I think the only thing with him is, like, I remember one time there was, like, I think he had taken the guy down, like, 10 times or 6. I don't even. It was
like a record.
It was like something crazy, kind of like Curtis Blades. And I'm like, that is some serious cardio. Like me, I like take people down, and I'm like, no, you're gonna stay here the whole 5 minutes because I'm not doing it again.
Yeah, I feel like when I see you guys get top control on somebody, I'm like, don't give that up. Under any circumstances. Some people give it up right away and like to get back to standing, but I'm don't give that up, because inside the lazy part of me is like, stay there. It's crazy to see.
Well, you could do some serious damage, and if you think about it, like, when you start hitting somebody with some serious ground and pound, that
especially
makes them tired. Yeah, it makes them really tired. And then they start getting a little bit panicked because you're hitting them with some serious ground and pound. And then you could maybe cause a concussion, which also, if someone's not thinking straight.
Oh.
So it's just like you're doing damage, and so, that's what I try to do. I think I displayed that pretty well when I fought Carla. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's so much fun watching you guys. And honestly, we got a fun time coming as we kind of break through COVID. I was at the Raiders game. People are starting to go out now. People are starting to attend the events. And like we said, the energy is just starting to ratchet up.
I want to go to one of the
They're pretty
Raiders
damn
game.
good, yeah.
I just want to go to one where they win, though.
They've been winning.
Maybe,
It's crazy.
So maybe let me think. What team will they definitely beat?
I don't know.
Probably the Cowboys.
The problem with the Raiders is like they're a 500. I'm glad you said Cowboys. They're like a 500 team, but like right now they went into 2 overtimes and they still managed to win.
Yeah, but did they lose this last game?
No, they won.
Oh, they won
in overtime. It was crazy.
Again?
Yeah, again.
This is the kind of game I want to go.
I know. It was like I was like, oh my god, overtime again. I just want to get out of here because football's a mission. Like it's an all-day affair.
It is.
You're there all day. It's a whole mission.
Yeah.
So for me, football's like a little much. Like I like.
So?
I can do 1 game a year, maybe 2.
Okay.
Like I got to draw the line. Like at this, because the Raiders are on the West Coast, so obviously they're here in Vegas.
Yeah.
They're serving like breakfast at these events. Like it's crazy. It's like kegs and eggs. It's honest. I'm serious. I'm serious.
Sounds like a good time.
It is. It's kegs and eggs. I'm telling you, it's on that level. So it is a really good time. They have the field access, so if you're up in the boxes, you get to go down the field.
Oh, okay.
You get to see that,
and that's like VIP or something.
Something like that.
You got those.
Something like that.
You got the hookup.
I think we both know if I go to something, I like to go correct.
Correct.
I like to do it correct. If I do something, I feel like I don't like to be around too much like nonsense. I just like to go, see it, leave.
Yeah.
Like, sit, not be bothered.
Yeah.
So I prefer to be in those areas.
Yeah, makes
It's a little better for me.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you came in, and I wanted to ask you this. I think for the most part, the women's game, I think everything you guys are doing is awesome. Is it hard for you to consistently stay driven, stay focused, stay on task, and avoid the distractions now that you're here in Vegas and stay away from all the BS? Or do you just block it out? Are you like a homebody, like Claudia that just like stays at home? You know what I mean? Like, where are you 20 hours a day, like in the house, and just leave to just train? Like, do you have to stay in that bubble here in Vegas, right?
Well, for me, I've been an athlete my whole life, so it's not really, to me, that's just kind of like my lifestyle.
Stay on the grind.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. So right now, obviously I can't train like I usually do. I mean, I'm lifting, I'm doing strength and conditioning with Bo. But I can't train like I was, but I'm still staying in shape. And then, I'm doing physical therapy twice a day. So, I mean, there's that,
With Dr. Heather.
With Dr. Heather.
Isn't she the best?
She is great.
We were talking about this earlier.
Yeah,
She's great.
Yeah.
She saved my life.
I mean, you're
I can
around.
walk.
Yeah.
I literally couldn't walk.
Did you have surgery on it?
No.
Oh, so it
She was against it at first, then she thought I made the right decision.
Oh, against not
having.
Oh,
yeah, she
okay.
wanted me to get it.
She did.
She
okay.
wanted me to get it at first. So at first, when I tore my Achilles, I haven't told this story in a minute. It was like I couldn't walk. So people who had been in here, I had like a limp, I had a cane, I had one of them little carts. I'm dead serious too. I had the whole fucking get up. So I feel you. I saw the break. I feel you.
Yeah,
I get it. And it's the worst when you lose mobility. Like, you're like, fuck, you feel like such a degenerate. You're like, but you get past it. You know, it just takes time. That's what makes Heather great, is you go to the therapy and over time you do see the results. Like, you can start to move. You can start to actually sit down.
It's discouraging.
Oh, you hate life.
Yeah, you're just like, I can't even go to the restroom without some crutches. Like,
without some help. I need someone to wipe. It's awful. But Heather has a way of getting you on a path, and you just have to go through the process, and you have to get the rehab, and they have a phenomenal team down there, and she absolutely knows what she's doing. That's why she's so sought after.
Yeah.
But having her gave me the confidence that, like, okay, we can do this. I can rehab this. And she helped me. I think it was, I don't know, Heather, you could correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure you'll see this clip when I cut it, but 3 times a week. I mean, I was getting it worked on, and to this day, I still get it worked on. But I should have, looking back, I could have done surgery or could have not. I'm happy that I didn't, because, as an athlete, in my background being from powerlifting and strength training, when you get surgery, it almost never comes back the same.
Yeah.
And that's why that's a fear. Like guys who get shoulder surgery, like I've never heard of anyone having a good hand surgery. Never. You know what I'm saying? Like when you start screwing around with ligaments as a powerlifter, bodybuilder, fitness, anything, you start to be like, okay, don't fuck with it. Like I know what my ligaments can do now. I don't want to jeopardize that, because when they go in, sometimes it's not the best. I know they've been doing Achilles for 1,000 years, but you just worry about that. Now, am I going to go skiing or do a crazy box jump anytime soon? Probably not, but I feel like it's back. You know, I feel like I'm back, and I owe that to her. But she is a wizard. There's no doubt. And
it's been a mission with my leg. Some days it's better than others, but
she'll get you there.
She's well, I mean mentally, not like physically.
The mental's the hardest.
It is so hard. It's so hard.
But you got to be selfish.
It's really hard. It's probably one of the most challenging. I've been through some stuff in my life, so this is one of the worst. I think it's just because it's a little scary when it's your ligaments and you've had them your whole life, and then they replace all of them. So you're just like, oh.
Well, I'll tell you this as an elder statesman and former athlete, a little bit older than you, but I will tell you, when you get older, yes, some of the injuries start to be like, oh my God. But when you're young and you're still in your 20s, you can repair. And if you're good about it and you take the time like you are, you will come out the other side 110%. It's just really a matter of taking the time and understanding it's a process. It's a process. It's a process.
It's the most difficult part.
And it's frustrating. You know, it's super frustrating. Listen, you'll be fine.
I've had a couple of funny stories that happened at the do you know I'm sure you do. You know Clint, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So the other day he was like, I wasn't having a great day. They had just we had just started, like it was my first day doing deadlifts since my injury. And I just started walk like 2 weeks before that. So they had me doing deadlifts, and I was like,
bar.
I was really the bar with like 5 pounds or something like
Bumper
that.
plate.
And I was like stressed out because I just had surgery on like 3 of the 4 ligaments in my knee, so I was a little stressed. And so then after that, I was just sitting there, and then what's his name, Clint comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, what's up, Tatiana? How's your day going?" I'm like, actually, it's terrible.
I hate you.
And all of a sudden, I'm like bending to him, and he's just like sitting there, straight face, has a mask on, stoic look. And I started laughing. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I like unloaded on you.
But I needed to say that.
You were like looking at me like I'm the sports nutritionist, not the psychologist.
Right. Like, leave me alone. Right.
But actually, he referred me to the sports psychologist, and I had my first session last Thursday. So.
That's important. Get your mind right. Yeah. I mean, I know Brady spends a ton of time with sports psychologists.
Especially when you're going through like a 100%. Tough time, like an injury like that. It's hard to stay present. You
got to get your head right.
Future, you're like, oh, what's the future hold for me? Instead of just living and focusing on the present and what you can do in the present, right?
That's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
The here and now is the most important. You have to be here and now.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, I want to say, like, don't understand. And I actually talked about this with Chiesa quite a bit. You have to be insanely present and focused on what you're doing in the here and now. Otherwise, you become like the person that's shaking hands with someone and looking over their shoulder like who else is in the... Like, you have to be here and in the moment.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do. And that's where the psychology comes into play. And I think we all... at some point can benefit from some therapy, whether that's through a friend, whether that's just sitting down with someone like this and having a conversation and just relaxing and just saying, I need to do some of this. And I think it opens your eyes to just creating a healthy dialogue for yourself and just being around people that are like, hey, Tatiana, how you doing today? Like, everything good? Like, you good? Like, let's go get it, and just move on. Like,
I just asked how you're doing.
And you need to unload sometimes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was just really funny because he had like a stoic look. He was like,
That's funny. It is funny. No like down the hall to the right is the psychologist. Like, get your shit together. Get your shit together. Listen, I love having you. It's been an hour already.
Has it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy, right?
I talk a lot.
No, I'm happy you do. I am. I'm genuinely happy.
I always tell somebody if I'm quiet, it means I'm like, because sometimes people ask, like, are you okay? Are you having a bad day? You're really quiet.
It's just my face. It's just my face.
I'm like, no, I'm just deep in thought, or I'm focused, So
it's just my face. Sorry. Listen, Let everybody know where they can find you and shout out all your sponsors. Anyone you work with.
Find me on Instagram, Tatiana Suarez UFC, and that's it.
Twitter? You're on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't even know my handle.
It's like Tatiana Suarez UFC or something, or MMA.
No, I think it's TSP something, but I really have no idea because I only go on Twitter just for the fights.
Yeah, but you got to get on there. You don't have YouTube yet, huh?
No, I don't have a YouTube.
What's wrong
yet.
with you?
I know. I need to get a YouTube.
Right now, you should have like a media person following you around, documenting all this.
I know.
I'm gonna get you someone. We'll get you someone by the end. We'll get you someone by the end of this. I appreciate you coming on. It means a lot.
No,
it really does.
It was really a pleasure.
No,
really
love
honestly.
having you, and I appreciate you coming to the event and talking about that a little bit. That was a blast.
Yeah, I had a blast.
Obviously, you better make the next one if you don't have a fight.
Yeah.
Or else.
Unless it's like how long is it going to be?
As long as it needs to be. You can leave early.
No, I mean the event, the gun day, the range day.
I can't say. It's top secret. It's G14 classified. I can't tell you these things. We got it coming. We got it coming.
All right.
It's happening. It's happening. We're doing
I'm
it.
just going to ask you after this.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I'll tell you when we're not on air. I can't. There's certain forces that could be listening to this that
is killing me.
I can't disclose. I can neither confirm nor deny anything at this moment. So we'll keep that under wraps. Listen, thank you. I truly mean it. I want to thank everybody. Thank all the sponsors. Shout out to Tatiana for coming on. Guys, go check out all her stuff. I'll put the links down below. She's coming out of this and she's going to be scary. So listen, don't take
scary.
the laughter as weakness. This girl will murder you. So I appreciate everybody. I want to thank a few of the sponsors, especially those that helped out at the event. One more shout out to all of them. I want to thank, of course, Legion Targets, Enforce Weapon Lights, Right On Optics, Full Courts and CMMG, and of course, 221B for supporting the event and everything. And First Form, they had some really nice snacks there. Appreciate those guys. BLK Water, a lot of fun. I want to thank a few of the sponsors now. Special thanks to Gallo Technologies, Rhino Metals, 6 Hour, and of course the complete list of the sponsors that is down below. Please go check them out. Support me by supporting the sponsors. Support the show by sharing the show. Leave a review if you haven't. Please. Thank you guys. I appreciate everybody, and we're out.